You are now listening to the Q&E Podcast.
Is this what you want? Huh? Is this what you want? Well, come and get it, goddammit!
Hello, everybody. You're listening to the Q&E Podcast. You're here with your boy Q Hicks right now. I got Edgar on the other line. Edgar, tell the people what's good.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Q&E Podcast. Let's dive straight into it.
Yes, sir. So first thing first, gotta give Vince Carter his flowers. He officially retired today, which is June 25th. The Hawks will not be playing in this new restart. So he's done. His career is over. Half man, half amazing. Gotta say goodbye. Edgar, you put this on the dot. I don't know why, but is he the greatest player?
I don't know why. I don't know why.
He's not even in the conversation. Why. He's not in the conversation, bro. But answer the question: is he the greatest player to never win a championship?
I would say he's up there. There's definitely some other names that you could possibly say at the moment, but he's definitely top three. When you think of like the top three players.
Top three?
Yeah, top three. Because of the potential the potential we've seen in him. I feel like that's what it is. Like, there was just something missing in his career that didn't get him to the championship level. But I just feel like the excitement that he gave, the fact that he's damn near the greatest dunker we've ever seen, like just box office performance damn near every time you watch him, the longevity of playing 20-plus seasons, like, come on, bro. Like, it being a key factor for 20-plus seasons, like, he's not just a regular name on a roster or nothing like that. Man,
I'm gonna give you some names just off the top of my dome, bro, that never won a chip. Allen Iverson, Karl Malone, John Stockton, Charles Barkley, Reggie Miller, and that's just five off the dome. That are way better than Vince Carter, bro.
Vince Carter and AI are two people for me. They ain't never win a chip. So I don't know who the third one would be. But Vince Carter and AI, definitely two people that I consider two out of the three greatest players to never win a championship. So I don't know.
It's a lot of people above Vince for me, bro. It's a lot of people.
No, bro. I don't know. It was just, I don't know. Hey, I don't know. You might not have him at number one, but you gotta have him at least top three that never won the chip.
I can't give you top 10.
I don't know.
Can I even give you top 10 is the thing.
No. Now you're being disrespectful.
I can't give you 10, bro.
You're being disrespectful.
I can't give you top 10.
You're being very disrespectful with that.
Hey, no disrespect. Actually,
give the man.
This is gonna come off disrespectful.
Flowers right now. We're giving the man his flowers right now.
But I'm not gonna lie just because it's his flowers. And we gave him his flowers before. When the season ended, we gave him his flowers.
Okay, but they ain't really count. That was just kind of a temporary give you your flowers because the season thought it was over. But now that the season coming back, and he ain't gonna be a factor in the season at all. Now it's.
But I'm not gonna lie just because we're giving him his flowers, though.
But it's not lying.
Top three to never win a championship is.
I feel like you're running from the truth.
The truth of what?
You're running from the truth.
After he left Toronto, bro, Stephen A made a great point today, bro. After he left Toronto, what did he really do? And what was he really one of the greats after he left Toronto, bro? I don't think he was in that conversation like that, bro.
He wasn't top
superstar like that.
He wasn't top tier box office, but he was definitely second tier box office after he left Toronto. When he was in Toronto, he was first tier box office, one of the best players in the league.
But when he left, bro, he went to the Nets. It was like he took a drop off in a way.
He took a drop, but he was still second tier. He was at least second tier now. Come on. He was still
greatest to win a chip. I can't give it to him, Vince. You're supposed to give you your flowers, bro, but I can't lie on the pod, bro. I really cannot.
He's not lying. You're running.
And Vince would literally tell you himself that he's not top three to never win a chip. Literally not close.
He's being humble.
Who? Vince?
Yeah, he'll be humble if he said it.
Vince knows the truth, bro. He knows he's not top three. He's not top 10, honestly. He's not top 10. I just gave you 5 that were better than Vince. And I can give you 5 more.
Top 10.
But let's move on. What does his legacy say to the newer generation?
I believe Vince's legacy says to the newer/younger generation that championships aren't everything. Like, I really feel like that's what his career says. You can be put in the history books and remembered a long time without having to necessarily win a championship. As great as winning championships are and as great as they look on your resume for the Hall of Fame, you can be in the Hall of Fame without winning a championship. And he showed that through the longevity and just the fact that, like I said, he's been a key factor all 20-plus seasons. Like, Vince was never just on a roster just to be on a roster. There were a lot of seasons in the past, I'd say 5-6 years now, where he's been a key factor in, like, certain moments of the game. Like, it could be late, 6 minutes left in the game, and you put Vince in because you just trust that elder mentality to keep the team focused, and he can hit a clutch shot here and there. You know what I'm saying? You may not have him in.
So we're lying today.
We're not lying.
We're lying today for
Who literally hitting buzzer beaters in his 40s. What you talking about?
That's all well and good, bro.
Wow.
Let's keep it real. What does his legacy say to the newer generation, bro? Keep it a beanie. You said the championships, which I will agree with.
Championships aren't everything. Longevity is the key.
Okay.
And never outgrow the fundamentals. Those are 3 big things that you can learn. Because that's literally.
I will agree with the longevity. Bro. But I think he will be known as more of a what-if story, bro. Vince Carter, when he first started his career, was somebody you looked at as being the next MJ, bro. He was looked at.
No.
Yes, he was. No. Yes, he was. He was somebody who was looked at coming out of North Carolina, too. He was somebody who was looked at.
Oh, nah.
Yes, he was. Bro, he was a top 3 pick.
We can ask this on social media. We could definitely ask this on social media later.
That's fine, bro.
I promise you, a lot of people are not.
A lot of people were not around in 1996 to know what the news was saying about Vince Carter when he got drafted.
Older generation people, and they gonna say the same thing.
And also, he was a great ambassador for the Toronto as well. So I do want to like he was the first one to put Toronto on the map because they were an expansion franchise when he first got there. So he put Toronto on the map. So the longevity, not having championships, and also being an ambassador for Toronto before he got traded to the Nets. Those are the 3 things that he will be known for. But it depends on what we're saying about newer generation. Because if you came in 2001, you don't really even know. You don't even know what's the name. You don't even know Toronto Vince. You know late Vince, maybe the Magic Vince when he was still getting loose with the Magic. That's really all you know Vince for. And after that, or even before that, he was a role player. So how great, if you're in the newer generation, how great are you looking at Vince as? Other than being
like, first off, anybody who's played with him over the past 6 or 7 seasons now, who are our age or maybe a couple years older, I feel like they definitely like see the importance of his career, because being in the locker room with somebody like that who's played as long as you're alive, like how do you not soak in?
Oh, you gotta respect that for sure.
Like, how do you not soak in that game? How do you not see that greatness? You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, like you survived in the NBA for 20 plus years, and you were important for basically 20 plus years. Like, and you were important like each season. Like, you may not have been like top
important. See, you're using that word important, and that's
what you put in the game like you was.
That's bothering me. I feel like Cole. That's bothering me right now, bro. Important is the word that's bothering me, bro. I didn't see him as important. He was needed. Yes, he was needed for that veteran mentorship. Cool.
So that's important.
On the court. He can hoop.
It was important too.
He wasn't out there like giving you bucket after bucket after bucket. I ain't gonna act like Vince was out there killing.
I'm not saying he was out there dropping buckets, but he would hit a game buzzer here and there. He would generate. He would not generate. He would be a good floor general in certain moments of the game when you didn't want the ball in the point guard's hands, like in certain points of the game. There were certain games and certain moments throughout the season where Vince showed you that I'm still worth something, even though I'm 40 plus years old, or in my 30s going into my 40s. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because in my opinion, I guess we just got different definition of the word important, because I stopped viewing Vince as a key role player probably when he left. Maybe it was the Grizzlies. Maybe when he left the Grizzlies in like 2012. That's when I stopped seeing him as an important role player. And after that, he really just became a journeyman after that point. He was going from team to team, just signing with any team after that. That's when I stopped viewing him as an important role player. Yes, you're giving out leadership and things like that, but you're not needed on the court. You're just there to give people the, you know what I'm saying, the kick in the ass that they need. That's why I view Vince as, bro, at least late in his career. I didn't view him late in his career as being important. Like, that man had to be on the team. Like, that man was killing, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't – I'll give you this example, bro. So, Paul Pierce, when he went to the Washington Wizards, that's somebody who I think you're looking at Vince as he was getting the ball down the stretch. He was hitting game winners for the Washington Wizards when he was playing with John Wall and Bill. Like, Paul Pierce was that dude. It was giving veteran leadership at the end of his career. At the end of Vince's career, I didn't see him in that Paul Pierce light like you seeing it, I guess. So I guess we just looking at two different lights.
So you think Paul Pierce was a more important factor than –
for the Wizards.
But I'm saying, like, at that point, late in their careers, you feel like
yes.
he's a more important factor than Vince was?
Yes.
And Vince was
Paul
more
Pierce
about
Paul Pierce with the Wizards? Yes.
But Vince was more of a
game, taking him to the second round. Yeah.
More of an icon than Paul Pierce ever was.
Hold on. Because we can have a conversation now. Y'all be trying Paul Pierce like he can't hoop. Paul Pierce is better than Vince Carter. That's not.
Oh, no, in the pod right now.
No, we can have a conversation. Paul Pierce is better than Vince Carter. He's not more athletic, but he is better than Vince Carter, bro. And I'm not even counting the fact that he won a championship. Just flat out, who's
if we're not counting championships. Like,
I'm not even counting the championship. We can just look at flat out stats, bro. Paul Pierce is better than Vince Carter, straight up.
1-on-1, who you taking?
Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce is a bucket. Are you kidding me?
I can't believe you're saying this. Right now. Oh my god,
bro! Do you want to look up stats right now?
I can't believe.
Why are you doing this to me, bro?
1-on-1, you taking Paul Pierce over Vince Carter?
Yes, straight up. I'm not even lying to myself.
All right.
Y'all sleep on Paul. Right. Y'all really sleep on Paul, bro.
All right. That's all right.
No, but straight up. Who's a greater player? Who's a greater player?
Vince Carter. What are you talking about? You're discounting the athletic.
You're disqualifying how good Paul Pierce was.
No, I'm not.
Bro, I got this mentality. Paul Pierce was trash for some reason. He wasn't
trash, but he's not Vince Carter.
All Vince Carter did for this generation was be a great dunker. He's the greatest in-game dunker, greatest dunker of all time. Paul Pierce was a bucket, straight up, for a longer period of time.
But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is 1-on-1. You're literally telling me you're taking Paul Pierce.
Why are you saying 1-on-1? What does one have to do with being a greater player, bro?
Because we talk about basketball, right?
1-on-1.
Every other sport, you can never say 1-on-1, but basketball is the only sport where you can literally say 1-on-1 and give it basketball.
Like I said, still today, bro. I want you to post this on Twitter after this.
Oh, I am. Like I
definitely. Paul Pierce is a better, and I still feel like niggas gonna try Paul Pierce, bro, because Paul Pierce always be saying this as outlandish things. He better than D-Wade. He
be speaking out.
He be saying that crazy stuff, so people look at him like as being a clown. But y'all really forget how good he was.
I'm not forgetting anything.
Yes, you are.
Not better than
Edgar, I'm gonna look up some stats for you, bro. Because he's
not better than Vince Carter. He's not better than Wade. He's not better than
Oh my goodness, bro.
He's not as monumental
Vince Carter right now, bro. You're overrating Vince Carter.
Not like monumental as LeBron. He's not. Like it's a lot of stuff Paul Pierce be saying that I just be like, what are you talking
about? Bro, you're wild, bro.
I'm not.
Vince Carter, you're overrating Vince Carter right now.
No, you're overrating Paul Pierce. Like
and this is supposed to be a good segment for Vince, and you messing it up.
We're spending way too much time on this topic.
No, you do it. You did this. You did this. I have to look up. I have to look up stats now. I have to look up stats.
You said a lot of stuff on this pod before, but oh my god!
Look at this. Look at how many 20. If y'all can see this, can y'all see this?
I can look later. I can look at all that.
Look how many 20-point per game seasons Paul Pierce.
I don't.
After he left Toronto, Vince was not getting off like that, and he was injured. Come on, Paul Pierce not better than Vince. You sleep. Let's move on. We gotta post this. We gotta post that on social media, bro.
Hey, let's get it posted.
We gotta post it. We gotta post it, man. You really believe that though? You're not playing.
I'm not. You mean that? You mean what you?
No, you crazy boy.
Oh,
I really want you to call Black right now, but I'm a chill.
He ain't answer. I told him I'll call him after the pod.
All right, cool, man. All right, let's move on to Dak. Let's move on to Dak Prescott. Let's move on to Dak Prescott signing his franchise tag worth $31.2 million, man. So they've been going back and forth for weeks. They don't know if they want to give Dak the 5th year. Edgar talking about they shouldn't pay Dak. But Dak said, cool. They got until July 15th to get a long-term extension done for Dak before the season, before they actually get a cutoff, and they can't talk until the end of next year in terms of long-term extension. So, Edgar, how do you feel about this new extension?
The man don't deserve anything over $28 million. I keep telling people that. Y'all giving participation awards at this point. That's really what's going on. Like, I always tell you, it's a lot of quarterbacks that I don't think deserve the money that they get. But that falls in that category. You don't deserve 31 point however many mil. You don't deserve to be in the threes right now. You're definitely a solid 28 mil quarterback right now. Like, prove to me that you deserve to go into the 30s. Please.
He has won playoff games. It's quarterbacks that are making that or are not making playoff games. What are you saying? And didn't he have the most passing yards this season?
Pro Bowl O-line, elite wide receivers, Pro Bowl defense, and pretty average coaching staff. You know what I'm saying? So how are you not at least?
But the coach is holding him back, and he still did.
I don't care. The coaching ain't that bad. Jason Garrett.
Yes, it is.
So Jason Garrett is stopping all that talent. He's stopping all that talent from getting to the Super Bowl. That's what you're telling me.
Why else they went 8-8 and they went 12-4 last season?
That has not. Oh my gosh, you're saying some outlandish stuff. Jason Garrett is an average quarterback, not quarterback, is an average coach. Like, he's not just complete trash. He's average enough to where if you give him enough talent, that the rest can sort itself out. You mean to tell me all that talent on the Dallas Cowboys is just getting held back by coaching?
Coaching, and there's some other reasons too. Everybody don't show up on Sundays.
You can't even sniff the Super Bowl? That's what you're telling me? You can't even sniff the Super Bowl just because of coaching?
Whoa. Dallas to the Super Bowl, we got to calm down.
No, but I'm saying, like, the talent that they have, you would think, like, they're going at least.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't saying they're going to win it, but I'm saying, like, at least get there, damn near. That's what I'm saying. All that talent.
I would say offensive coordinating is the problem. Offensive coordinating and coaching was the problem, yes. The philosophy was not right. They supposed to have been feeding Zeke the whole time. They was not feeding Zeke.
Okay, so the fact that they're not feeding Zeke, but they're overfeeding Dak, and Dak not producing, does that not prove my point? Does that not prove my point?
That's the problem, though, bro.
You want that to be Jimmy G. That's what you're saying. You want that to be Jimmy G.
I never said Dak was this great quarterback. I just say he should be getting $35 million.
Oh, 35?
I'm not a Dak fan, but I'm just saying he deserves his money.
Listen, you're saying a lot of
Dak. Bro, is Jimmy Garoppolo not a game manager?
He is. He's a game manager.
Dak Prescott not a game manager.
No, Dak Prescott has potential to be more than a game manager. But
what is he right now?
He's giving me is barely game manager stats right now. I can't. Not even.
What
stats.
I'm saying is you got to surround him with the pieces. You have to run the ball just like San Francisco is with Jimmy G. Jimmy G flourished just like Dak was flourishing in the years before.
Amari Cooper, Randall Cobb, Ezekiel Elliott, all-star O-line. Like, what more do you want? And
the O-line be hurt most of the time. Tyron Smith was hurt most of the time. Dak be getting sat in the back.
All right, bro. I can't believe a lot of stuff that you're saying on this podcast.
No, I can't believe what you're saying right now.
Oh, my God.
$5 million?
That does not deserve anything over 20.
Matthew Stafford. That's all I'm going to throw. Matthew Stafford.
I love Matt Stafford. I don't think he deserves the money he be getting either.
But he's getting it, though.
Okay, just because he's getting it, I don't mean everybody else is just getting it, too.
It just depends on what the market is willing to give you, bro. Not on what you're worth. Everybody knows that. Jimmy G ain't worth $28 million, but he damn sure getting paid $28. He getting them checks. So that's what I'm saying, is what the market is willing to give you. And honestly, what I was hearing, that wasn't even the issue. The money wasn't the issue. It was the amount of years they wanted to give that. They wanted to give Dak a 5-year contract worth, I want to say, $34 million. And Dak wanted a shorter term deal so he can see free agency again, like in his late 20s. But they couldn't disagree on the year, so that's the reason why he just ended up signing the franchise tag again. Like I said, they're still negotiating right now, but the deadline is July 15th, so that's in a few weeks. So they can obviously pass it. But
I just don't. I don't think I don't want people to think I don't like Dak, bro. I like Dak.
And that's the thing, bro.
Like, when he deserves the money, give it to him. But he ain't deserve it yet, bro.
But that's the thing. I don't even like Dak like that. Dak is a solid quarterback. No lie. Maybe he borderline top 10. Solid quarterback, but he's nothing crazy. But, bro, everybody in that top 10 range is getting the same 34, 35 type of cheese, bro. You feel what I'm saying, bro? And how the market always rises year after year, that 35 going to look like chump change in a couple of years when you look at it, bro. So what are we saying right now? Mahomes about to kill the whole market and get 40. So what is 30?
He deserves it, doesn't he? He deserves it.
He deserves it. But all these other quarterbacks don't, and they still getting these big checks. That's what I'm saying. It's not what you're worth, it's what the market is willing to give. They're willing to give Dak the money, but they just couldn't agree to the years. That's it. Like I said, I'm not a Dak fan. I'm not out here just advocating for Dak like that. But give the brother his money when he needs to get his money. He has been getting $2 million, like $1 million and like $2 million this past season. Oh, a year, $2 million a year the past couple of years. Come on, and he's your starting quarterback. Repay this man. Come on, man.
I need to see more production. I'm not even a Cowboys fan, and I feel like he's not serving the Cowboys fans justice. But
he's done.
But they're delusional fans. They'll accept whatever they can get. That's above.
But if this was Tony Romo, would he be paid? Yes or no? We had this conversation before.
As close as he was to Jerry Jones, I would say yes.
Is it not a white or black thing?
In this instance, I'll honestly say no. I would honestly say no. If Tony Romo relationship wasn't as tight with Jerry Jones as it was, I promise he probably wouldn't get paid.
So we are back, and it's a whole new day right now. A whole lot of nut shit was being said last night, so we had to cut.
There was a lot of nut shit being said. Let's just put that. We literally had to stop the pod. Like, if you notice, it's a different time of day right now. Quincy got a whole different background behind it. Like, for those of you listening, you might be like, "What? Like, why was it a break in between?" We literally had to stop the pod. It was a lot of nut shit being said.
We had to call our homeboys, get some confirmation on shit.
Yeah, we had to put some polls on Twitter. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, like that whole Vince Carter topic. Yeah, that Vince Carter, what's the name, Paul Pierce topic, man. That really fucked the nigga up.
That bothered Quincy, and then the Dak Prescott thing just threw me through the roof.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, these two topics were terrible to start off with. Like,
say what you said yesterday, bro. Say what you said yesterday about Andy Dalton, bro. I want them to know what you said.
I'd have said this before. They could go back on previous pods. I said Andy DeQuez. I called DeQuez. DeQuez said Andy Dalton is better than Dak Prescott, which I do not agree with. But I do believe that Andy Dalton is going to take Dak Prescott's job in Dallas. If Dak keep playing around with these astronomical prices that he won't, Andy gonna mess around and take Dak's spot for the Dallas Cowboys. That's why.
But when you say take his spot, that sounds like you're saying he's a better player.
No, just because you get your spot taken, that don't mean you're the better player. Like,
yes, it does. In the NFL, it does, bro.
Nah, that's not what that means.
That's what it means to me, bro. All I was saying about the Dak Prescott topic, bro, was the fact that in the first year they said, okay, you can win, but you're not doing enough throwing. So the next year he throws more yards. They said he can't win playoff games. He won playoff games. They said that's still not enough. Then they said you need to throw more passing yards. He throws more passing yards. So he gives you the playoff wins. He's giving you the passing yards. He's giving you the stats. What else do you want him to do to get
playoff wins in 4 years? You're letting that slide? You're letting that slide. 2 playoff wins in 4 years. You're letting that slide.
Kirk Cousins is making $33 million this year,
which I don't agree with.
1 playoff win. It don't matter if you don't agree about the price. It don't matter if you agree about the price. It's about what somebody is worth. Or what
neither one of them are worth the amounts that you're saying. Like,
it's about whatever the team is willing to pay you, that is what you should receive. They are willing to pay Kirk Cousins $33 million.
But Dallas is not willing to pay Dak Prescott that much money. Like you just said, it's about what the team is willing to pay you. They're not willing to pay him $30 million, yet he's over here begging and pleading for like damn near 35.
I don't think he's not begging. I told you before, the problem was the years. I think the money was straight. But the amount of years, I think, was the real problem and why they couldn't hash out a contract extension this summer.
If they give this man the money that he wants, it will be typical Dallas Cowboy behavior, which would not surprise me. So that's what I'm going to say on that. If Dak gets I don't want people to think I hate Dak. I don't. I like him. I think he deserves what he earns. He just has not earned. Same thing I said about Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook don't deserve Christian McCaffrey money yet, but that don't mean he won't ever deserve that much. Dak will one day deserve that much money. Just right now, no, due to the circumstances of him not having the right amount of playoff wins and leading the team that he needs to lead.
But I don't like how you throwing the playoff wins really under the rug, bro. You said 2 playoff wins in 4 years. You said that like it was something to sniff at.
It is.
Deal.
Oh my gosh.
That's a big deal.
I don't even want to talk about this topic.
There's a lot of quarterbacks in the league this time, in the league right now that do not have those amount of playoff wins, but get more respect than a Dak Prescott. Right or wrong?
Wrong.
Gets more respect?
No, he does. More respect? No. Hell no. No. They give me 3 people that you know just on TV that just respect Kirk Cousins like that. You can't.
Respect Kirk Cousins. I don't know.
I can name at least 3 people.
That's why I keep throwing Kirk Cousins out there because he getting paid hella cheese.
I can name at least 3 people off the top of my head that respect Dak Prescott. I can't name too many people that respect Kirk Cousins.
But it's a lot of Cowboy fans out there, a whole lot of Cowboy jock riders, man. That's all I'm saying. That's why it's going to be like a lot of more people respect him than what truly is in the locker room and by the front office. But let's move on, bro. We spent enough time on that, bro. But let's move on to this NBA restart, bro. A lot of players are really not trying to play. We already heard Avery Bradley said he's not going to play because health issues with his son. Who else said? DeMarcus Cousins said he's not.
Avery Bradley, his situation a little bit different, I think, right? Because that got to do with like the amount of time he see his kids. I don't know if they got anything to do with it. They wouldn't let his son into the bubble because he has health issues, respiratory health issues. So let him in the bubble. So he wouldn't be able to see his son every day. So he decided to just stay home because he didn't want that time apart from his son. His son is 6 years old, I want to say. I don't want to count that as he don't want to play. I would have to move him out of that equation. I feel like that's you can't play because of family health reasons. Like I don't want to count him in the category of Avery Bradley don't want to play. Like I don't want to say that. But I feel like he does. It's just your son's health is more important than the NBA. So I don't want to count him with people who just don't want to play.
Well, we seen DeMarcus Cousins. I know he said he doesn't want to play. He's trying to rehab, get over his injury. But there was a lot of teams wanted him in the pre-market before this restart. Let me look at a couple more names that didn't want to play.
Kyrie don't want to play. Dwight don't want to play.
Dwight don't want to play. Yeah, not playing.
Who else don't want? It was a couple other names that said they didn't want to play.
Yeah, I'm trying to look them up because there was some more names. But I'm really blanking. Oh, Trevor Ariza said he not playing. Davis Bertans. Like I said, Bradley. So that looks like, whoa, it's only a 3 on the list I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, it ain't that many. It was just a few more names, though, that we just forgot.
That's straight then. Trevor Ariza. And they're really on teams that really weren't going to be in the playoffs long. Like the Trevor Arizas, he's for Portland. Are they really going to make the playoffs? If they do make the playoffs, are they going to be there long? Bertans plays for the Wizards. They're most likely not going to make the playoffs. So it's like, yeah. But Avery Bradley is the one that really has people like, whoa, because he's a key part on the Los Angeles Lakers. And it's like, wow, you're really missing your starting point guard at this point. So what do you see as a replacement for him? I'm hearing a lot of J.R. Smith rumors. I don't know how I feel about that. How do you feel?
I think it's cemented. I don't even think it's a rumor anymore. I think the Lakers are going to be picking up J.R. Smith based on what I've seen from Woj and a couple other people's tweets. So I like Avery Bradley in that position better than J.R. Smith, but J.R. Smith, this ain't his first time playing with Bron, so he already know how that chemistry is. Granted, we know how that
Bron hates this man. Bron hates him.
He hated him for probably that week or that month, but they cool, bro. I promise you they cool.
After JR did what he did in that final series, bro, you can't play on my team anymore. I don't care what happens. Y'all got to change the starting lineup around, bro. Do not put J.R. Smith back on the team. I don't think he's gonna start, but
he definitely. If J.R. Smith walk in and just start, then that's crazy.
I don't see him starting. Yeah, I don't see him starting.
But I definitely feel like it's not too bad of a pickup. You know what I'm saying? Considering that you ain't really got nobody else to grab right now. So
hopefully he don't get that much time. I think Alex Caruso is somebody who's going like his minutes per game.
Oh yeah, Caruso minutes gonna step up. Kuzma might end up starting.
He might end up starting because it might be who is it? It's got Danny Green, Bron at the 1. Yeah, Kuzma probably at the 3. And then
McGee.
Yeah, McGee, JaVale, yeah. So that would probably be the 5. So you putting Kuz in there. Kuz was inconsistent before the season went out. So it's like, is he really step up?
I think Kuz, a lot of people are saying that Kuz ain't really going to do much. But let's think about it this way. When Kuz, before LeBron got to L.A., Kuz was doing his thing because he was getting the reps that he needed. He was starting more. He had more opportunities to handle the ball more. So if you allow him to get in the starting lineup and start with Bron at that, I feel like Kuzma, I don't think he's going to surprise nobody because we know Kuzma ain't no scrub. It's just he's been on a decline recently. So I feel like he's going to show everybody, hey, I still got it. It's just I know for a fact that if I get the starting opportunity as opposed to coming off the bench, I feel like I can perform better. So I feel like Kuz might shock a lot of people and show people he's still.
But the thing about last season was the fact that a lot of the season Bron wasn't there. So it's like in the season before when it was his rookie year, he had a lot of time to shine as well because he was the focal point of the offense. So when Bron was out and when the first year when Bron wasn't even there, he was still the focal point. But now you're in this LeBron system and your LeBron AD system where you're still not going to get a lot of touches even if you're starting. You're really going to be in a spot-up type of role. So is he a good enough spot-up shooter? I don't think so. I think he's more of a rhythm player, needs to feel the rock, needs to dribble, pull up into his shot.
I feel like Bron will probably share the rock more knowing that if they integrate Kuz into the starting lineup, I feel like Bron will catch that and notice that. So I trust LeBron mind when it comes to running the offense with certain stuff like that. I feel like with Kuz, he'll know how to let him get off. I mean, Bron going to be the primary ball handler, but I feel like he ain't going to treat Kuz like no spot-up shooter if he starts.
I think that it just comes with the LeBron territory, man. We seen it with Brandon Ingram last season. It's just like if you're on that LeBron team, it's going to be LeBron James, AD pick and roll. Everybody get the hell out of the way. That's how it is. Wherever he goes, that's how it is, bro. It's a pick and roll. Get out the way. You got to spot up. And it's not going to change. That's just LeBron's system. When LeBron sits out, yeah, you get to do your thing, but really, it's really nothing else. Maybe LeBron will give you a couple possessions where you can handle the rock, but really, that's really how it's going to be, especially when you play a team like the Clippers. We've seen in that, I think it was the last Clippers and Lakers game, man. I felt like the last 7 minutes of the games was just LeBron James, AD pick and rolls. Like, it was nothing else. And it was working, but still everybody else around the court had to be a spot-up shooter. And like, you had to knock down the shot. And it was just a LeBron system, man. And I don't think –
Does that also speak to the point of how elite that Clippers defense is? Does it also speak to that?
No. Because I think that happens even if it's not the Clippers. They still fall into that habit of just depending on LeBron way too much.
But I'm speaking on that last 7 minutes, though, because that is a long stretch to be running pick and roll like that. Even if it works, like the last 6 to 7 minutes of a game, like you're forced to just doing that, even if it's working, I feel like that speaks more to how elite that defense is.
You could say that, and you could say it had something to do with Bron wanting to get that win because they didn't have any wins on the Clippers. So Bron was like, I'm going to do whatever to get this win and prove that we can beat the Clippers. So you can see Bron's will at the end of the day too. But I guess you can say that. You could say it was the Clippers defense as well, but I think it was more LeBron's will. And I think if you play the Clippers, it's going to end up like that, though. It's going to be like, Bron, you have to take it. You got to carry us home. Because who else do you trust on that team against somebody like the Clippers where you got defensive studs everywhere? You're not going to put the ball in Kuzma's hands. I'm not trusting Kuz at the end of the game or in the last 6 minutes against the Clippers. You got PG guarding you. I'm not trusting you on PG. Like, bro, I got to give it to Bron or AD who I'm trusting. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's just what it was, too. So, yeah, I can see that. But the J.R. Smith thing, let me get back to that point. I don't like J.R. Smith for them, man. Not even the fact that the last time we seen him, he just didn't look good. I think he's just washed at this point. What are you really going to get out of a J.R. Smith? Like, what are you expecting to get out of a J.R. Smith right now?
I mean, I think they really just counting on the fact that they pick somebody that Bron comfortable playing with, and they know each other. They know each other game. Like, even if they don't like each other, you know each other game. Like, it go hand in hand. Y'all cannot play with each other for 2 whole seasons, but the fact that y'all played for each other the amount of time that y'all did, when y'all touch the court again, it's like, hey, you know how I do this. I know how you do this. So even though we got different pieces around us right now, let's just try to integrate what we already know doing with each other into the game. I feel like that's why they went ahead and picked up JR, because it's like, hey, he done won championships with Bron before, you know what I'm saying? So might as well try it.
Yeah. But I really think Caruso is going to step up in this role, bro. I really think Caruso is. But I also think Jamal Crawford, he's been sitting out this whole season. He even put out a tweet a couple of days ago saying there has to be something deeper than basketball that's going on right now why he's not in the league. Because the Lakers need a playmaker. Like I said, everything, they're depending on LeBron way too much. Or before the end of the season, that's how it was. So now you started over again. So it's like you still need a playmaker at the end of the day. You lose Avery Bradley. Avery Bradley wasn't a playmaker per se, but he's somebody who could be a secondary ball handler, and you losing him. So it's like, damn, Jamal Crawford could take the load off at the same time. So it's like J. Craw is still out there, and I still feel like people are forgetting about him.
Yeah, that's crazy. I really don't like the fact that he just been sitting out this long. It really got me looking like, what's the reason that he's not in the league? Same thing with Cam. Like, with Cam, you can kind of feel why people ain't really like fucking with Cam like that. But with Jay Crossover, it's like, what's the reason? Like,
and the thing about Cam is so polarized, and it's like either you love him or you hate him. The thing about Jay Craw, like, I felt like for the most part, niggas love not JR, but Jamal Crawford. So it's like, where is this coming from? At least have him on your team to be a good locker room presence. He can't even be that for you. It's just like, wow, that's crazy, bro. So, bro, I want you to take the lead on this LeBron and Maverick Carter creating a media empire, man. You did more research on it than I did.
Yeah, so for those of you who haven't seen on social media or read about it yet, Bloomberg posted on their website earlier this week that LeBron James and Maverick Carter created a media empire called Spring Hill Company. And it's a $100 million investment that they made I want to say a little over a year and a half ago, that they started. That's around the time that they started it. And they finished it up around March of this year. And it was during the week that the NBA was suspended and all the COVID stuff started like really spiking up, that they were going to announce it. But they just took time and said, let's wait till a lot of this dies down, because the league just got suspended. This is going on like with COVID and everything. So they didn't want to announce it in March. But they described the media company as an unapologetic agenda, and it's a maker and distributor of all kinds of content that will give a voice to creators and consumers who've been pandered, ignored, or underserved. So I feel like
is this an all-black media company?
I believe so. They said people of color. The company is, the employees are 64% people of color, and 40% of that 64 are women. So when they say people of color, I'm assuming that means majority black, because when you say people of color, that's a broad range of races that you can say, but I'm sure most of that is black. So I'm proud to see that, honestly, and I'm proud to see the fact that LeBron is kind of following in Kobe's footsteps on the importance of allowing women to have that equal opportunity as men. So having 40% of your workforce be women, and you're trying to work to where it gets to 50, like half men and half women, and like damn near all of them are people of color, like that. That's amazing.
Yeah, and we've already seen LeBron step into that executive producer type of role, even with some of the documentaries he made, the shows he made with The Shop. So I feel like this is going to be another great investment, another great route for LeBron to just something that we can look forward to past his career. Just something else we can say LeBron did something great at. Like The Uninterrupted is a great show. It's something I still watch to this day. He had the Space Jam 2. He's still an EP for that. Another game show. I didn't even know about this. The Wall.
I heard about that.
You heard of it? Yeah, that's another game show on NBC. I guess he's an EP for. So it's like a lot of things that he gets into, like they become hits. Space Jam 2 probably going to be good. So I see nothing but success for this company. I'm glad that they're doing it for all the black, or not all black creators, but black creators in general, bro. So just showing more love to our community, man, especially in a like this.
I really feel like it speaks to his greatness again, because I think a lot of people don't understand that LeBron hears and sees everything that we say. So it's like, okay, I can't ever satisfy anybody when it comes to the GOAT debate of just basketball. If we talking just purely basketball, I will never be what y'all want me to be. You know what I'm saying? So he's taking into account, I'm gonna do everything basketball wise, and plus, like, I'm gonna be one of the best executive producers that you've ever seen come out of the sports world. I'm gonna be in movies. I'm gonna be in TV. I'm gonna be in just a businessman role in general. I'm gonna be an investor. I'm gonna be this. I'm gonna be that. So he's hitting, like, I'm gonna be in the education system. He's hitting every dot outside of sports to where it's like you can't ignore him. Like, you can't, as much as you want to say he's not Jordan, he's not Kobe, blah blah blah. You still have to have him in conversation with those people at the end of the day, because of all the boxes he's checking outside of basketball.
Yeah. And it's funny that this story came out this week, because another report earlier this week was that The Ringer, I think that's the news station that Bill Simmons is over, they said they don't hire enough black people. That's really a predominantly white media company that they got going on over there. And they were asking Bill Simmons if he would, put more black creators on his platform. And he was really like, he didn't say no, but he was like really trying to deflect the question in a way. He didn't want to answer the question directly. So it's funny that this comes out. It's like a mostly black media company. So it's like, respect LeBron, bro. All respect LeBron. Check us out too, Bron. Q&E Podcast, bro. Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Check us out, man. We definitely
Draymond Green listening, so everybody else need to listen.
Yeah, bro. Shout out to Draymond, bro.
Draymond listening to the pod.
Yeah, bro. Shout out Draymond. All right, bro. Let's move on to this NASCAR noose situation, bro. So the FBI had discovered that there was a noose in the locker room of Bubba Wallace, who is the only black NASCAR driver in that whole sports world. So it was a noose on his garage door, if I remember correctly. It was a noose on his garage door, but they said it was there for over a year, and he just didn't realize. I would want to say, is that the?
I mean, I think that's what they're trying to say, that he just didn't realize that it was there, or he maybe have never actually seen the noose rope. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they kept it hidden from him, in all honesty.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But the fact, also they don't race at that park all the time. Like, they race at different parks. So it's the fact that they probably could have came back and it was like a noose there when he came. So he could have been surprised at the end of the day. So the noose was found in Bubba Wallace's garage. They said the FBI discovered that it was invalid, or they said it was invalid of a hate crime. Like I said, the execs said there was a noose there for over a year used on the garage door. Does that make this better or worse? Because at first we got reports that it was in his car, like people were threatening him, and we didn't know how to take it. And we obviously was like, this is a hate crime. But now they say it was on his garage door for over a year. So it's like, oh, it wasn't targeted at him. It was just there coincidentally. So how do you feel about it? Does it make it better or worse?
I honestly feel like it makes it worse that it's not a hate crime. And the reason I say that is because, damn, like, if it's not a hate crime, that means y'all just got nooses sitting around. Like, that just means y'all allow blatant racism like that just to be around just because there's no black people in the environment.
And that's a good point as well. And the fact that the other garages didn't have like the noose knots,
right?
But his was the only garage with the noose knot. Come on, bro. Something telling me about that.
I wasn't in Boy Scouts that long, but I was in it for a few years to know you can make a lot of knots. So
exactly.
All the knots that you could have made, you made a noose knot. And that's the only knot you feel could have helped you with the garage door. You low-key didn't even really need to make a knot on the rope at all. Like, if you did, it could have just been a real basic knot. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's just blatant racism in the world of NASCAR, and they just felt like we're never going to get any black people in this environment, so might as well just go ahead.
Why? Because stuff like this is happening, along with the Confederate flag that we just talked about last week, and then the fact that we got a noose incident. It's like, I can understand why black people don't want to be a part of this industry. And I didn't even know black people were even in this. I didn't know who Bubba Wallace was till
I didn't know either. And the crazy part, we was talking about this before the pod. You didn't know that he was black when you looked at him. Like you had to actually look and read that he was black. Like he doesn't give that impression at all. Like when you look at him firsthand. So the fact that he claimed his black identity, even though he could have passed as white, I just feel like that speaks volumes to when he walked into the all-white world of NASCAR. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we got to be showing him more love, man. I didn't know he was in that sport. Isn't there a black dude playing hockey?
There is, but I don't remember his name. I don't remember his name.
Like, we got to show more love to these people that the one and only is in the all white sports industry. Definitely got to show them more love, bro.
Like it's just all white stuff that I just feel like it's just not like, let's say I don't want to. There's not really any all black sports. I mean, there's not really any all black.
People call football an all black sport for the most part, 80%.
Okay, so yeah, you can say that. So it's like certain things I just know isn't really our culture. So I just don't involve myself in it. Like NASCAR, I don't really get into NASCAR. My brother Darrell, he watches NASCAR. Like he loves watching NASCAR. I don't think he'll ever.
How can you get excited by NASCAR, bro?
I ain't gonna lie, it's pretty straight. It's pretty straight watching it. I don't think I could ever actually like go to it. And I think the same thing with him. I don't think he could ever go, but like watching it on TV sometimes he like it. But NASCAR, monster trucks, all that type of stuff, I just feel like that's not my thing. It's not my thing. It's not my culture. So I'll let y'all have it. It's just certain things I would enjoy, even hockey to a certain extent. But hockey is pretty lit in person. I ain't gonna lie, hockey is lit in person.
I can never get into hockey, bro. The thing is,
if you ever go to a hockey game, I promise you won't be disappointed.
I don't think I can get excited over hockey, bro, because I really don't. I understand the game. Obviously, you gotta hit the puck into the net, but it's just like,
bro. Like especially because the Lightning are actually good. Like Tampa actually got a good hockey team. Like we playoff bound Stanley Cup Finals type team. Like you'll definitely be excited if you go to a hockey game. I promise.
Bro, no, a couple of years ago the Lightning made it to the Super Bowl, not Super Bowl, but the World Cup or something like that.
That's what I'm saying. We've been making it to the Stanley Cup and or we at least be close. So like the fact that we actually a good hockey team, I guarantee you'll like it. Now if we was trash, I'd be like, I don't know. But
man, it's the same thing, bro. With the Rays, I can understand how my energy came back because it's the Rays. It's like they right up the street, but it's like the Lightning. It's like the energy just would never be there. But like hockey,
I said the same, bro. But I got took to a hockey game one time with my dad. He took me. I was like, hockey, but the tickets was free, so I was like, hey, might as well. So we went, and I liked it. I fucked with it. It was cool.
You ever went ice skating before? Ice skating is hard as fuck.
Like, yeah, it is.
But ice skating hard as hell, bro.
It was remember it used to be where did the ice skating ring used to be? It used to
Tampa,
be one.
No?
Huh?
It used to be at Tampa, don't it?
That's what I'm saying. Like I think it was one in Tampa. I forgot what mall it used to be in.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's an old ass memory.
I think they got one in Countryside. They got an ice skating rink in Countryside.
It might have been Countryside. It might have been
Countryside. Yeah.
I remember going to the mall and ice skating at the mall. Like that's crazy. In Florida. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. That's just dangerous as hell, bro. They say every time you fall down, you can't have your hands like this. You got to put your jump like this. And you can get your fingers like rolled over. Ever since I heard that, I was like, nah, I'm kind of cool on the ice skate thing. My ass the whole time I was there. I was busting my ass, bro. I was like, yeah, this sport isn't for me. Let's move on to the MLB is back. So they have finally reached an agreement that will give them a 60-game MLB season. Have you heard about the pay? I don't know what the pay is going to be like. I think they're going to get paid for 60 games.
I think it was the last time we talked when I said how did I say it was
50%.
It's going to be 50%, and then whoever reaches to the playoffs, it'll bump up 75% of the pay that you would have received if it was the actual full season.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So spring training literally starts in 5 days, 6 days on July 1st, and the regular season starts on July 24th, and there will remain to be the 10 playoff teams. What problems could this bring for the MLB, though? With the shortened season, everybody can't play the amount of games that you usually play. Like, you know how you have like a 4-game series with a team. Like, you can't do that. I don't think so. You can't have the same amount of series or series lengths that you could before.
I was thinking that. So the amount of games that you play per team will definitely be shortened. And also, I was thinking about, what if someone gets injured in this 60-game period? Like, because if you have like over 180 games in a season, it's like you can miss like 30 games and still be okay. But in this type of situation, if you get injured, I hope no one gets injured to this degree, but if you get injured to the degree of you miss like 8 weeks, like you're missing a huge chunk of the season, damn near half of the season if your injury is serious enough. And if you're a prominent player on the team, if you're a prominent outfielder or second baseman on the team, like that's gonna play a huge part in your team's destiny moving forward in the season.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking about that when it comes to like what could go wrong possibly in this situation.
Okay, I can see that too. So will views go up with fewer games and more at stake? They won't be getting my view because I don't like baseball, but will there be more at stake?
I feel like the views will go up just because sports is coming back in general. Like month of July, it's gonna be a lot of sports coming back. Like you got basketball coming back. You got baseball coming back. I think
football training camp starts July 20-something, 25th.
Training camp for football. WNBA starts back around the end of July. Like, wow, no, you got to support the women. You got to support the women. Women's, see, man, this is what I be saying, dog. Women's sports don't get enough love, dog. Y'all be trying to win.
Hey, shout out to Tamika Catchings, bro. Ever since Maya Moore left the sport, bro, I really could not get enthused about women's basketball.
I feel like, baseball is going to get it's going to get some views. I feel like it's still baseball at the end of the day, so it's not going to get like views, but I feel like the fact that the season is shorter, you might have people paying more attention because more games are going to count now. Like more games are definitely going to count. It's not like you can be because with baseball, if you got 180 plus games, you can lose like 40 games and still be okay. But you got 60. And the requirement, I'm sure, to make the playoffs is got to at least have 45, at the very least 45 wins. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So to be like a top seed in your division and whatnot, you got to at least have 45 wins. So I feel like when it comes to the amount that has been placed to, people are going to pay more attention because each game is more important. So I feel like views will go up for that.
I agree. Yeah, it will be more views for that. Because for a lot of these games, man, I can't see you tuning in for them. At least during the 180 game season, you're not tuning in to all 180 games unless you just that big of a fan, bro. I can't just see 180 games, bro.
I can't.
So like the fact that it's 60 games, that's a nice little sample size. And like you said, it's more at stake. So I definitely understand that point. And I agree, it will be more views just because of that.
I mean, I've always said that the baseball season should be shortened anyway.
Yeah, it's way too long.
Like, I never understood why there were that many games in the season. Like, I get it. The games are pretty, like, they're not slow, but I don't know. I can't even think of a reason right now on why I don't want the season to be that long. Like, especially when you do double headers. Like, you got 2 games in a day sometimes, and then you still got to play the next day. I'm like, bro, like, why are we playing this many games back to back? Like, that's
and no breaks in between.
no breaks in between. Like
playing like straight games, like for like 3 months, and then they get that 1 day off. I don't know what they be doing over there.
Because when I used to work at the Trop, it would be like they'll have like 9 days in a row that you have a game, and then possibly a doubleheader in that time frame. So that's like 9 days in a row that you have either 9 to 11 games, and then you get like 2-3 days off, and then you got like 11 game stretch, and then you got like 3 days off, and then you got like a 7 game stretch, and then I'm like, damn, like that's
really why they be getting paid so much, bro, because that amount of games, man, it's crazy, because they really working you to the bone. But let's move on to Madden 21. Has a new debut cover. It will be Lamar Jackson, and they have a new soundtrack. So Lamar helped pick this soundtrack, helped make the soundtrack. Edgar talking about it's going to be one of the best soundtracks of all time.
Let's go through the soundtrack. Pick it back up. Put the soundtrack up so we can tell them what's on it.
Let's go through the soundtrack, bro.
Let's go through the sound. Let's go song by song, and I'm gonna sit here and tell you what song gonna be a hit. Keep in mind, I need everybody.
It's not about the hits, bro. Bro, is it gonna groove with the Madden feel?
Hey, let me say this before you start naming the songs. I like the fact that Lamar Jackson helped with this because he didn't want this to sound like a Madden soundtrack. He wanted it to sound like you sitting at home playing with the boys and you telling somebody to get on the aux while y'all playing at the crib. That is why Lamar Jackson made the soundtrack the way he made it. Okay, with that being said, list the songs.
Let me see. So you got Kodak Black and XXXTentacion, Roll in Peace.
Hit.
That's a hit. Travis Scott versus Kid Cudi, The Scots, man.
That's a Madden hit. That's going to be a Madden hit.
But I want to say this, bro. It's going to be a lot of artists on here, and Edgar probably going to say hit the most of them. But look, whatever Madden had this song that was I Can Feel It.
Phil Collins In the Air Tonight.
In the air at night. That was the best Madden soundtrack, bro. And
that was only one song you can remember from it, though.
Madden, that's the type of music I want to hear when I get into Madden, bro.
That's the only song you can remember from that soundtrack.
Huh?
That's the only song you remember from that soundtrack?
No, it's more songs I remember, bro. It was some Maroon 5 on there, but they got me groovy with the white artists at the same time, bro. And that's what I appreciated about Madden, because they had the nice mix of the black and the white on there, which really came together well. But you giving me a lot right here. You giving me a lot with this soundtrack. So let me keep.
That's what I'm saying. He's not making it like he's really making it like you playing with the guys and you're at the crib and somebody on the aux while you playing. That's the feel that he gave it. Like,
but that's coming from a black person. Will a white person feel the same way?
I mean, dang, we can't have one soundtrack just for us? I'm sorry.
Wow. I'm talking about from a Madden perspective. That's kind of crazy because you like just giving it all.
I mean, why did they ask for his perspective? You knew what you like. He from South crazy. Florida.
Mahomes was on the cover last year. He ain't get this luxury of picking the soundtrack.
Well, I apologize that he didn't get that luxury. Lamar did. Like, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure it would have been close to the same if Mahomes did it.
All right, bro. Let me keep going. So
He's from South Florida.
Young Thug featuring Gunna, Hot. That's
it.
Lil Baby verse Lil Baby and 42 Doug, We Paid, overrated song.
Hit.
All right.
Quincy's being disrespectful with the overrated term. He's being very disrespectful. Lil Baby got the album of the year right now until Drake dropped.
Whoa. You have not listened to Freddie Gibbs. I told you to listen to Freddie Gibbs for the past month. And you have Freddie Gibbs. If you're listening to this podcast, the album of the year is Freddie Gibbs Alfredo. He had the album of the year the past 2 years. Listen to my man. I'm trying to put y'all on that good music, man. Nigga talking about Lil Baby. Oh, my goodness. All right, man, let's continue. NBA YoungBoy, Make No Sense.
Hit.
All right, I never heard the song. Now featuring Gunna and Travis Scott, Turks. I never heard it. Pop Smoke featuring Quavo, Shake the Room. That's a hit.
Hit. What was the song before that?
Now featuring Gunna and Travis Scott, Turks. Song called Turks.
I don't know if I heard that.
I don't think I heard that song before.
But Shake the Room, that's a hit.
Yeah, Shake the Room a hit. Life is Good on that. Life is Good is a hit.
Hit.
Look Like Give No Fuck by me and
No Fuzz. Hit.
Yeah, I never heard the song.
It's a Madden hit. It's a Madden hit.
This is what I want to say, bro. I'm not really in tune like I would want to say, like an Edgar who is in tune with the Stud Air Fort Vegases, the Little Babies and things like that. The only little I really mess with is my Lil Uzi. Lil Uzi is my person. That's my man right there. Everybody else, I really can't. J. Cole type of guy.
Lil Baby, like I know people say this about a lot of the young artists, but no, I'm not even finna lie to you. Lil Baby is like really that dude, bro. Like he's that dude.
He's getting off right now though.
He's that dude. I'm not even lying to you. Like the OG, even the OGs in the game right now saying like Lil Baby is like, I don't want to say he got it because it's not the same at all. The way he taking over the game right now, it's reminding me of how Wayne took over the game.
I knew you was gonna say that.
It's not the same. It's not the same at all.
Don't compare him to Wayne.
No, it's not the same. I'm not comparing it, but I'm saying like since Wayne, I never seen somebody just take over the game the way that he's doing right now. Since Wayne, like I'm not even lying to you. I ain't saying like with the popularity. No, I'm talking about literal bodies of work, and just the influence that he got in the game. I ain't seen this since Wayne. In all honesty,
answer this question: who better, Lil Baby or Rod Wave?
Lil Baby.
All right.
You don't listen to Lil Baby. That's why you saying Rod Wave.
Oh,
that's why you saying Rod Wave. No.
Your city. You supposed to be riding for your city, bro.
You know I'm cool with Rod. Like I love Rod Wave. Like St. Pete, hometown, all that. But Lil Baby on a different level, bro.
But shout out to Lil Baby for making that one song. What's that song called? Bigger
Picture.
Bigger what?
The Bigger Picture.
Bigger Picture. That song do get off though. Shout out to Lil Baby for making that song about what's going on in America right now. Another song, Up the Smoke, Stunner for Vegas featuring Offset.
It's straight. That song's straight.
Yeah, I haven't heard it. Tory Lanez, Broke in a Minute.
I ain't never heard it, but I trust Tory.
Tory Lanez, if it isn't a Chicks tape, I don't know really if it's gonna be good or not.
It might have been on Chicks tape. That's why I don't know.
It was on Chicks tape? Okay.
I don't know. I'm saying it might have been.
Okay. Jack Harlow, What's Poppin'? I mess with What's Poppin'.
That's a Madden hit. That's a Madden song.
Yeah, that's true. The Baby featuring Quavo, Pick Up. Whoa. Oh, I'm thinking about something else. Bro, I thought that was the pick up the phone, baby. That's what I was.
That song Pick Up Snap though. That's a decent
That's
song.
what he should have. That's the song he should have put on here, bro. That's the song we need. All right, what else? Sway Lee, Someone Said.
Didn't hear it, but I trust Sway.
Someone. Damn, I think I know how that go. I forgot though. Lil Wayne featuring Lil Twist, Ball Hard.
I trust Wayne.
I don't trust Wayne no more.
For a Madden song, I trust Wayne. for a Madden song.
What?
Like for making a Madden song, I trust Wayne.
Even at this age.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Danny Lee, No Limits. I rock with Danny Lee, so I definitely agree.
Yeah.
Gunna featuring Travis Scott, Top Floor.
It's straight.
Yeah, it's straight.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. For Madden, it's a banger. For Madden, it's a banger.
I heard the song before. It's straight. Big Sean, Overtime. That's a hit. Kodak Black, Calling My Spirit.
That's a hit. That's definitely a hit.
I don't think I heard it. And you got
you listen to it, you'll get Madden vibes.
And then you also got TD by Lil Yachty featuring Tierra Whack, A$AP Rocky, and Tyler the Creator.
Oh yeah, T. That song hit. That song hit. I ain't gonna lie.
Called T. Okay. So yeah. So like I said, Edgar knew most of those songs. I didn't know most of these, but like I said, it's just not gonna give me the same vibe that I want from a Madden.
You don't even know. You ain't even hear it flow yet. Yes, bro, I can hear it flow.
I'm really not gonna give me Madden vibe.
I can hear it flow. Like I can hear it. You gonna feel like somebody got the aux while you playing Madden.
But do I want somebody to have the aux while I play Madden?
Yes.
I'm used to a certain type of style when playing Madden, bro.
Okay, adapt to change.
Cause like, bro, imagine making your franchise, bro. You like to be mellow when you're making your franchise. You just got all these 808 beats in the background, just messing up your concentration. You can't
imagine you making your franchise. Imagine you making your franchise, and in the background you hit NBA YoungBoy. I feel like I'm Gucci Mane in 2006. All these diamonds that's in.
I'm gonna end up trading one of my best players because I hear that song. I'll end up trading one of my best players. That's what's gonna happen, bro. I'm gonna end up messing up, making whole mistakes. Cause isn't the song make no sense? So I'm gonna do something that makes no sense. That's what's gonna happen, bro. I'm telling you what's gonna happen.
You're being disrespectful to these songs right now. You just don't know.
That makes no sense. But will the Madden curse hit Lamar Jackson? We've seen in the past that the Madden curse really hit hard up until this season. Because Mahomes was on the cover and he ended up winning the Super Bowl. So is this gonna come back to life for Lamar Jackson?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna hopefully say no. I'm gonna hopefully say no that this curse does not hit Lamar in any type of way. Because I've been the one to say that if this season is unsuccessful for him again, And when I say unsuccessful, I don't just mean like losing in the playoffs. I mean like the way he folded. Like if something like that happens again, then that's the Madden curse, no doubt about it. But if it's a fair game in the playoffs and he loses and it's not really his fault, then okay. Or if he just gets to the Super Bowl and just don't win, then it's okay. I don't see that as a Madden curse.
That's not Madden, bro. Madden curses is like when you just get hurt.
Or he get hurt or something like that. Yeah.
Your team just completely falls off. That's the Madden curse because that happened to everybody before Mahomes.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If he gets injured or if he folds and the team falls off, something like that, then yeah, I'll say the Madden curse.
That's the Madden curse. Yeah, bro. So
I don't see that happening at all.
Yeah, I don't see that happening at all, bro. Lamar good, man. Mahomes broke the curse. I think we all in the green right now. So C.J. Gardner-Johnson, former Florida Gator, speaks out on young athletes considering HBCUs. So he came out with a tweet yesterday saying that he doesn't think that the top prospects will pick or turn down somebody like University of Florida, University of Georgia, to go to a FAM or one of these HBCUs out here because of the exposure aspect. So how do you feel about it?
I kind of agree. But here's my take on it. I feel like young black athletes, and this goes for men and women who going to college, I feel like if you really want to change the power structure in the NCAA when it comes to these D1 schools and stuff like that, or just trying to make it to the pros, it's going to take those few athletes to sacrifice their draft stock, sacrifice the looks that they could possibly get by going to other schools and going to these HBCUs. Like, I feel like, because it's going to – I put a tweet out the other day. It's going to take 2 years of the top 10 prospects going to HBCUs to, like, really start making a change and how many players do it. Like, just imagine the upcoming college recruits for basketball and football, the top 10 recruits choosing HBCUs over top D1 schools. Like, imagine that happening 2 years in a row. Like, that's really going to shift how many scouts go to HBCU games and practices. It's going to shift how many of these powerhouse schools continue to win or not win. It's going to play a big role in that. But it just comes down to, like CJ said, which athletes are going to actually choose to take that risk. And a lot of them might not take it. And I don't know why a lot of black athletes are scared to make that chance, take that chance nowadays, when back in the day, you had way less athletes getting the type of money that, and the money and fame and all that type of stuff that pro athletes get nowadays. So it's like the sacrifices that athletes don't make today, the athletes back in the day had way less, and they were willing to sacrifice the little bit that they had. But the athletes that got better opportunities to make money now, they're scared to take that risk. And I don't understand that.
But we were talking about this before the pod yesterday. It was different back in the day than it was in today's NFL. Now you got these camps where all the top prospects can come out too. You got the 7-on-7 tournaments where a lot of the scouts can come out too. But back in the day, you really didn't have that. So you really recruited who was in your region in your region. So like the Shannon Sharp's going to Savannah States. The Jerry Rice is going to HBCUs. They were because they didn't have the attention on them because they were in like the big regions. Like they didn't have the eyes on them like the other players would. Like they wasn't in Athens, so a University of Georgia can look at. Shannon Sharp was in Savannah. Like nobody was really looking at Savannah for players like that. So he ended up going to a Savannah State, a small school like that. Same thing with Jerry Rice. You didn't just have the exposure like you do on a national level like we have today. So that's why you have the Steve McNairs going to Alcorn State and things like that. Like they were top prospects, and we've seen that when they got to the NFL. But when they were coming out of high school, like they just didn't have the eyes on them, and that's why they ended up at an HBCU. And I think that's the reason that's how they ended up there. And it may look like they took a sacrifice, but it was really like they didn't just have the eyes on them, and they just didn't have that buzz. And if you were black going to a PWI, either you were in a big school's region and they can see you and they can scout you, or you just had that buzz. So the Jerry Rices, the McNairs, and the Shannon Sharps just didn't have that buzz to get on a big-time school's level. And that's why I think a lot of those players that ended up at HBCUs went. Because I think if they had the chance, I think they would have taken that route to go to a PWI because it's a more exposure type of thing. You feel what I'm saying? And more exposure means a better chance of getting to the NFL to provide for my family in the future. And who would really turn that down, especially back in those days?
I understand. That's understandable.
So I think that was one of the big reasons. And I feel like it was another thing I wanted to talk about this topic. I think I forgot it, though. Hold on. What else he said? But we talked about it yesterday, how the difference between basketball and football, because obviously a couple of weeks ago we talked about Mikey Williams and how we both feel like he's going to end up at a HBCU in a few years whenever he graduates from high school. But we talked about the difference between the basketball and football aspect. Like basketball, it's like, yeah, you can go to an HBCU, but you can always look like you can hoop, and the NBA will find you. But the football is different. If you go to an HBCU, the competition difference really isn't the same like a FAMU, like it is at a University of Georgia, University of Florida. So just speak on that, how we were speaking on it yesterday.
I mean, I personally feel like the basketball route is easier. I don't want to just say it's easy, but it is easier than the football route. Like if you're trying to go to college for basketball and you choose an HBCU over a PWI, you got a better chance of getting noticed than if you were taking the football route doing that. And the reason I feel, because I totally agree with Quincy, is like people gonna know you can hoop automatically. Like we seen that with John Morant, and he was at Murray State. I don't know if Murray State is a
OVC
or not, but the fact that he was at a small school like Murray State, and even if you know Murray State, people don't really like know about Murray State like that unless you just a super in-depth basketball head. People don't, other than the name, people don't really know Murray State. So he really put them on the map. So imagine you got Mikey Williams or somebody like that, or even Bronny, like going to Savannah State or going to Hampton or going to Howard or going to FAM or going to Mississippi Valley State. Like instead of going to a Duke or a North Carolina or a Kansas or a Michigan or Michigan State, you know, like they're going to HBCUs instead of that. And they can still get the camera on them. Because even if the team loses by 30 points, if you shut down the person you're supposed to shut down, you're going to get eyes on you and you're going to get put on ESPN. But it's different with football, because if you go to, let's say you go to FAM or you go to Bethune or something like that, and you play Ole Miss one day and y'all get blown out by 40, like you don't get that many single-handed opportunities to show everybody what you got. It's a team effort with football at the end of the day. With basketball, you can make it a one-on-one game damn near. So
yeah. That's about, you said it, and you said it yesterday, how it's a 5-man sport in basketball and it's 11 in football. So you have more influence on the game. If you're the star player and you're a big-time prospect going to HBC, you have a lot of control on the game, so you get more notice. You get noticed more than the rest of your teammates. John Morant was the same way. He just looked more dominant, and he was way more influential over the game than anybody else. You know what I'm saying? So when you go to the small school, you obviously have to hoop. And if you're a top prospect, you're going to hoop because they're going to put the ball in your hands at the end of the day. So you obviously going to get noticed more, and that's why I think you would get noticed more in basketball than in football, because that's one of the biggest questions they're going to ask you coming out of college. You played at this HBCU, MEAC type of level when you could have went here, so that's going to be a big question coming out. So that's why you never really seen a first or second round HBCU talent rather than Steve McNair. Steve McNair is like the outlier in that, but other than that, you really haven't seen it. So it's like, they're going to really question your competition, because they're like, yeah, you played against Hampton, but how good is Hampton when we got players out here playing against Georgia and Michigan on a day-to-day basis or week-to-week basis? You feel what I'm saying? So they're always going to question you coming out of college about that. But for basketball, it's just completely different, because they can see like your influence on a game that's natural. So I think
the only one position in football that can really change a game or just have major influence over the game is the quarterback. It used to be the quarterback and the running back, but now the game is just transformed into something that's just so quarterback influenced that you can say for quarterbacks, you can be the difference maker in the entire game. But every other position, no, you can't say that. You can't say that. There's not a wide receiver out there that say I can change the entire game. Like, no. Even if you raw, like even if you're undeniably the best receiver in the country, like if the ball not getting thrown your way, you're no factor. So
that's true. All right, bro. So let's move on to Cade Cunningham. So we talked about him a couple of weeks ago as well. And we talked about him possibly leaving Oklahoma State because all of their NCAA violations and the postseason ban for this upcoming season. But it looks like he will be staying with Oklahoma State. Like I said, his brother is the coach out there, so that was probably the main reason why he stayed. Edgar, what is your reaction?
I mean, I seen it. I don't want to say I seen it coming, but I was kind of hoping he'd be able to stay just to, finish out his college career there. Because I feel like he'll probably do one and done if possible. So
he definitely doing one and done.
Yeah, so might as well just stay where you at. Don't try to find nowhere new if it's possible that you could stay there and keep your scholarship and everything. So.
Yeah. But what, you expected him to leave, though? I expected him to leave and go to Kentucky UF or something like that. You expected him to leave?
No, I kind of expected him to stay low-key. Mm-hmm. I ain't really see him coming to Florida. Like, I don't know how you saw him coming to Florida. I was like,
I seen him coming to Florida because Nembhard left. I was like, Nembhard left. That's
even with Nembhard leaving, I was like, nah.
My man.
That would really just be a blessing landing in our lap. Like,
yeah, this is probably like my least likely occurrence that happened. I did not see him going back to Oklahoma State at all. I thought he was going to take the G League deal, get that $500K or something like that. But going back to Oklahoma State was, definitely.
That was a possibility too for me. Like, I felt like it wasn't going to happen. I felt like that was least likely to happen. But I thought about that. What if he took the G League deal?
Yeah.
But I see him staying in Oklahoma State, though.
Mm-hmm. And just sticking with the Andrew Nembhard topic, he ended up transferring to Gonzaga from Florida. So I don't know if I should say shout out to Nembhard because he left, but he gave us some good years, so I'm going to give him some respect, bro.
Yeah.
Nembhard, he's going to sit out this season, so he will be back in the 2021-2022 season, so he'll be back playing for them. They really need point guard help, so this is going to be a big jump for Gonzaga, bro. So really got a point guard factory over there, in my opinion, bro, with a lot of players. Because I remember Nigel Williams-Goss, he was a top prospect that came out of Gonzaga. Zach Norvell. They had Perkins. They had some nice little PGs that come out of Gonzaga, man. So I definitely like that fit for him. And lastly, let's move on to Last Chance U basketball in 2021. They will not be doing football after this season. I think they're dropping in July of this year. This is the last football.
I think so. Oh, you're talking about football?
Yeah, this will be the last football in July.
Oh, yeah.
This will be the last football in July. And then next year will be Last Chance basketball. So they're switching it up. So how do you feel about that?
I'm excited. I can't wait for a lot of people to really see what that JUCO life is like for basketball, because I feel like a lot of people, we get it and we understand it when it comes to football, but a lot of people don't really know how many amazing hoopers are out there, like whether it's D3, JUCO, NAIA, like I feel like it's so many slept-on hoopers out there that people don't really see like that. So I feel like it's going to give us a chance to really see the true talent, see how many dudes really is jumping out the gym. And like we was talking about Spencer Dinwiddie, that Twitter post he made when he was like, we could just watch dudes at the YMCA low-key.
Yeah.
Like, it be dudes going to the Y that you be looking at like, how are you not in college? Like,
yeah.
So I feel like we really going to get to step into that world. Because there was people I've seen on Facebook saying like, why they doing basketball? Like, that's going to be so dry. Nobody really want to see it. I'm like, y'all don't know. It's really dudes out here hooping like that, for real.
Yeah.
Like, you might look and be like, damn, how you not in the league? Like,
and like Edgar just said, we seen the football thing, and we understand it. I feel like we know more people on that JUCO football route than we do on the JUCO basketball route. A lot of people don't know that. I used to hoop at St. Petersburg College, and that's another JUCO. And, like, I used to play with a lot of people that were from that Florida area, man, and they can hoop, and it's like, wow, they all D1 talent, but either their grades was messed up, they got in trouble, so they had to go to that JUCO route. And it's just like Last Chance U. They're top-tier prospects, but they always fall down some type of road.
Shout out to Coach Crumbly, one of the greatest coaches I've ever seen when it comes to basketball, like, real deal. Like, the teams that he would just be in charge of, I'm really looking like, if these dudes get, like, a D1 opportunity, they're going to snap. Like, the schools that used to come and play us, like HCC, that was always a good matchup. And I'd be like, these dudes is really jumping out the gym. Like, this one dude, I can't remember his last name, but Isaiah, like, his favorite player was Russell Westbrook, and you could see why. Like, when you see him play, it's like he reminds you of a Ja Morant, of a Russell Westbrook. Like, I'm looking like dude really like hopping over dudes for real.
Yeah.
And he got the handles with it, and his athleticism just made you say, damn, like he really that dude. And then you got Glenn. It was just so many people on that team, bro.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Glenn, it's also people down that road as well. Like Glenn was somebody who played for St. Pete High School, but he was just always overshadowed because they had people like Dayon Griffin, they had Travis, they had Pro, they had Sorrell. Like they had so much talent on that team that Glenn was always in the background. He was always the center. He was always starting, but it was just like he never got the attention that he could have. So he had D1, D2 offers, but it's like he took that JUCO route because that he felt that was best for him, and he ended up going D1. So it's also players like that were just overshadowed, man, because they play with so much talent growing up or for their high school teams, man. So, yeah, I think that's going to be good. Switch it up for Last Chance U. I think I kind of got tired of it because it became, like, repetitive to me in a way for Last Chance U football. Like, yeah, it's like the same storyline. Like, we highlight a couple of players. We rock with them. They always mess up with grades or something along the way. It's just like, all right, let's switch it up with basketball. So I'm glad.
Even if it don't be the grades, it just be certain situations that you just never know about. Like with Pro, I never knew that situation until he explained it on how schools would just drop your scholarship to get the player or athlete or whatever that they want, like or that they necessarily need for the program that they're trying to build. Like he said, they was trying to base their program on defense, and you're a tight end, and they already were kind of set at the position anyway. So they just felt like they could drop you. Like they send you to wherever they want to send you until they need you and bring you back. I didn't even know stuff like that happened for real. Like, so it might not even be the grades. It might not even be no trouble you get in. It might just be you in the school just not seeing the same page. You know what I'm saying? For the school that you're supposed to go to anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's all that.
Football is a business, man. At the end of the day, man, these coaches got to keep their jobs. They want to keep the food on the table for their families, man. So they trying to do whatever's necessary, even if this is the grimiest shit possible. Like Edgar said, but that Pro story, definitely go and check out that Pro interview if y'all haven't seen it before, man, because it was definitely a good story on how his journey and his JUCO way, how he ended up to get to TCU. But yeah, that's it for this podcast. Edgar, hit it with the social media.
You can follow us on Twitter at QE Podcast 1. You can follow us on Instagram at Q_N_E_podcast. You can follow and like our Facebook page, Q&E Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Q&E Podcast. Hit the notification bell and click the all button so you see us drop whenever we have a new episode out. Our email, QANDEpodcast@gmail.com. Email us for any inquiries, any fan mail, any questions, concerns, anything like that. Reach out to us. We check our email pretty frequently, so we'll get back to you soon enough. And Blue Collar Media Group and MTMV Sports, we are part of both of those platforms. Make sure you check out their social medias, their websites. Check out all the talent on both of those organizations. There's plenty of people out there just like us, so make sure to subscribe to whatever podcast you listen to on those as well. And our social media accounts, you can follow me on Twitter at EdgarMartin97. You can follow Quincy at Q_Hicks3. And you can also follow my Instagram page, Edgar Martin Official. I will be getting back on there soon. I forgot my password. So if you have followed me and I have not followed you back, just know that I am getting back on there soon.
Mm-hmm. All right, man. And also subscribe to all our podcast platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. Wherever you listen to podcasts, we are there. So we appreciate y'all for listening, and we out. Peace.